Good evening, folks. Tonight we're talking heartbreak, hope, and high-stakes basketball. The Golden State Warriors, yes, those Warriors, just took a gut punch of a loss that could shake the very foundation of their playoff dreams. But before you count them out, let me take you inside the fire of what just happened, what it means, and why the story's not over just yet. Last night in San Francisco, the Golden State Warriors walked into the Chase Center with a mission: take control of their playoff destiny. They had a lead, they had the crowd, and they had their superstar, Stephen Curry, doing Stephen Curry things. But then, the final horn sounded. And it was not a sound of triumph. It was the sound of heartbreak. The San Antonio Spurs stole the game at the buzzer. Final score, 114-111. A cold, cruel buzzer beater from former Warrior Harrison Barnes, who turned back time and returned to the Bay just to break their hearts. With that single shot, Golden State fell back into the 7th seed in the Western Conference, the play-in zone. And just like that, they're no longer in control of their postseason path. This wasn't just a regular loss. This was a blown opportunity. A missed chance to take the reins with just 2 games left in the regular season. Now, instead of standing tall in the top 6, they're leaning on hope, and the performances of other teams, to avoid sudden death in the play-in. For the Warriors, this isn't just about basketball anymore. This is about character. About grit. About finishing what they started. Here's the twist of the knife: the Warriors led this game by 12 points going into the 4th quarter. They had it. But then came the mistakes. The turnovers. The missed assignments. The sloppy defense down the stretch. The cold shooting from beyond the arc. When it mattered most, the Warriors went quiet, and the Spurs got loud. Golden State's three-point shooting was wildly inconsistent. It was one of those nights where even wide-open looks rimmed out. And when you live and die by the three, sometimes you die by it too. Stephen Curry showed up. With 30 points, Curry was once again the fire that kept Golden State from collapsing completely. He hit clutch shots. He made impossible plays. He screamed encouragement. He was the leader. But he can't do it alone. Steph looked around, and waited for someone else to rise. In a twist nobody saw coming, it was Jimmy Butler who answered the call with a rare burst of offense. The veteran came out aggressive and dropped 28 points, giving the Warriors a lifeline. Butler attacked the rim, hit mid-range jumpers, and even drew fouls to keep the Warriors afloat when things started getting shaky. But 2 men alone can't win in a league built on depth. And that's where this story takes a dark turn. Outside of Steph and Jimmy, the Warriors struggled. The bench gave them almost nothing. The team was -16 during non-Steph minutes. That's a dagger. When Curry sat, the offense stalled, the defense softened, and the energy disappeared. The Warriors bench, which has been a question mark all season, offered no answers when it mattered most. Jonathan Kuminga had some solid stats on paper, but in the game's key moments, he was a net negative. Defensive lapses, poor spacing, and some questionable decision-making held him back from being the difference-maker the Warriors desperately needed. Brandon Podziemski, normally a spark plug, had a rough night, just 3 of 11 from the field. His hustle was there. The energy was real. But the shots? Not falling. And in a 3-point loss, every miss stings. Draymond Green flirted with a triple-double. He brought energy. He brought leadership. But even that wasn't enough to tilt the scales. His stat line? Impressive. But impact? Limited. Because when the game got tight, the Warriors needed playmaking magic, not just solid contribution. Moses Moody gave effort, diving for loose balls, crashing the glass. But like so many others, his hustle didn't translate into scoreboard impact. And then there's the villain of the night, Harrison Barnes. Once beloved in Golden State, now the man who dealt the dagger. With the clock winding down, tied game, and tension so thick you could slice it, Barnes rose, fired, and hit. The buzzer sounded. And the Chase Center went silent. It wasn't just a shot. It was a statement. The Spurs, a young team with nothing to lose, played with joy and intensity. They moved the ball. They hit their shots. They believed. And they walked off the court with a win, and the Warriors with a warning. The Western Conference is a minefield this season. Just a few games separate seeds 5 through 10. The Warriors now find themselves in a tightrope race, watching other teams like the Grizzlies, Timberwolves, and Nuggets with eagle eyes. Every result matters. Every possession counts. And now, for the Warriors, it's not just about winning, it's about surviving. So where do we go from here? The Warriors have 2 games left in the regular season. And both are must-win, Friday against the Trail Blazers and Sunday against the Clippers. There is zero margin for error now. None. Beat the Blazers. Beat the Clippers. Hope that other results fall in your favor. That's the only way to climb back into the top 6 and avoid the play-in. Lose one, and you're locked into the chaos of sudden death territory. Possibly facing the Timberwolves, Kings, or even Luka Doncic's Mavericks in a win-or-go-home scenario. They've been here before. This team has faced adversity before. Remember the injuries? The doubters? The years they said the dynasty was dead? And yet, they're still here. Still fighting. Still led by Stephen Curry, one of the greatest Warriors the game has ever seen. Still backed by Draymond's heart, Klay's pride, and a fan base that believes until the very last buzzer. This isn't how the Warriors wanted the story to go. But maybe, it's the story they need. Maybe this is the chapter where character is revealed. Where young players grow up. Where veterans dig deep. Where legends remind the world why they became legends in the first place. Steph will come out gunning. You know that. He always does. Draymond will bring the fire. You can count on it. The question is, who will rise beside them? Will Kuminga shine under pressure? Will the bench wake up and bring the spark? Will someone, anyone, be the unexpected hero who flips the script? The clock is ticking. The margin for error? Gone. But as we've seen before, when the Warriors are cornered, they don't fold. They fight. And sometimes, they make magic. So hold on to your jerseys, Dub Nation. Because the story isn't over. Not yet. Not while Steph Curry still has breath in his lungs, fire in his eyes, and a basketball in his hands. The final chapter of the regular season begins Friday. And believe me, it's going to be must-see TV. This is your nightly reminder, in the NBA, the difference between heartbreak and history is often just one shot. And the Warriors? They've still got one more shot to make it right. Stay tuned. And here's the key takeaway from the channel: delve into financial education to enhance your quality of life. Within the financial market, explore bonds and shares, particularly focusing on real estate investment trusts, which offer the potential for passive income. Engage with this responsibly and consider reputable investment brokerages worldwide.